Hello again, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Woodpeckers Deep Dive. My name's Jeff Farris. Welcome to my shop. Today, we're going to take a closer look at an insider tip on how to get perfect fitting dados with Woodpeckers RipFlip. Now, when I say it's an insider tip, I mean it's inside our catalog. If you want to see exactly what we're doing today, you can download this from our website, or there's a link below and we'll mail you a copy free. So let's get started on how to get this nice a dado with your table saw. Now, if you're not familiar with the RipFlip, we developed this about a year ago, and this allows you to repeat the position of your rib fence. It just pops up like this, and then it limits the travel of your fence. So as many times as you move it and come back, it's always going to come back to exactly the same point. Now, we call it the RipFlip because it's actually designed so that it can stop the fence from either direction, on the left or on the right. Now that gives us another advantage, and that is the ability to place two stops very close to each other, and that gives us the ability to make very accurate dados. So when we are using this to do dados, we want to actually link the two stops together. You can see this little adapter that's placed in the middle. We're going to slide that together, take an 1/8 inch Allen key, lock it up, and now those two stops are linked and they can move along the track together. When we lock it up, the relationship between this one and this one is always going to be exactly the same. So now the fence is captured between the two stops, and we have the travel between sets up two edges of our cut. And that is how we set up for a perfect fitting dado. Now, when we first released this, we had several customers that said, well, instead of measuring that, can't I just take my piece of stock, put it in there, and set it to that and get a correct fit? Unfortunately, it doesn't work. The reason is this is measuring so that the saw blade is outside of that cut. So what you would get with this is the dimension of your stock plus the dimension of your dado. And that's quite a bit more than you want. So here's the clever trick that one of our customers came up with and sent to us. What we need to do is we need to subtract the width of the dado blade from this space right here. The way we're going to do that is we're going to control the width of the dado by the spacing between the two stops. So I'm going to open this back up, slide this stop away, and now we're going to measure the space between the two stops to be the width of the dado. Now to do that, we need a set of calipers. It doesn't have to be anything special or fancy. In fact, even an old-fashioned set of vernier calipers will do the job perfectly. All we need is a set of calipers where you have one set of jaws that measures outside and another set of jaws that measures inside. All right, so let's go ahead and measure the width of the dado. We want to get on the outside of the teeth, close it down, and make sure that we have just a nice light drag fit on the width of our dado. Then we'll lock that. Now we'll come down to the RipFlip and we'll place our inside measurement between our two stops. So now we're going to bring the fence over to the first stop and lock it. Then we'll bring the second stop up. We'll take the material that we're fitting, place it between, and bring it up until it just has a nice drag fit in there. And then set the stop wheel. Now we're going to take that out, flip the stop down, get the fence out of the way, and now we're going to push the two together, which removes the width of the dado. So now the space between the two stops is going to give us a perfect fit on our stock. Now that they're linked and set, I can move that anywhere that I want to position that dado. So we'll just say that we want it right there. Bring the fence against the first stop, and we're ready to make our cut. Let's see how we did. Get that lined up. That'll be a perfect fit. So to recap the procedure, we're going to use a set of calipers to find the width of our dado. Then we're going to use the inside measurement to set the spacing between the two stops, measure the distance of your material, then close the stops together. And if you get lost, don't worry about it. Just get a copy of our catalog, and the step-by-step procedure is in there. Hey folks, thanks so much for watching today. If you enjoyed this tip, be sure and give us a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscription button and the notification bell. That way you'll know about every one of our great videos right when they come out. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Deep Dive.